Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We are the Weekend Boys, me, Watermelon, and my co-host, Alterock45.
Yeah.
So this is our first official episode. If you tuned into the last one, that was like the video said, it was just an intro. So we talked for a good 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes, about the most random of things, mostly our YouTube videos and how well they were doing, or how cringy they were. This one's more
Yeah.
going to be more about gaming and our games and like the games we like to
Specifically
play.
like consoles and stuff that we grew up with.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I started out. I started out. My family. My parents raised us up not much with the modern age stuff. We grew up with like um what are VCR tapes, watching all of the old Disney movies off
Yo,
of VCRs,
same. I
and
used to watch so many Land Before Time
yeah,
movies on VCR.
we had them on DVD. Like we had Nathaniel, or my brother Nathaniel. He had so much, so was so big into dinosaurs at the time. He
Mm.
loved dinosaurs, and we had the entire Land Before Time series on DVD. And the
Yeah,
amount of
nowadays they have
times,
up to like 16 of
yeah,
the movies, except the new ones kind of suck.
yeah. Well, there's many of them. Like we had over like I think we had about 15 movies, but now there's even more. But the newer ones they're not as good as the original, but
No, they had 17. I know they had 17. They might add more, but
yeah, yeah, they had quite a bit. We had quite a bit. I know we had quite a bit, but Nathan, my brother, I'm gonna leave his name out, but my brother he loved them, and we watched them over and over again, and came to a point where I just did not want to look at a dinosaur, but um, so yeah, I was raised with older stuff. Of course, we had like an PC now and then. But I started out with the NES was my first console. We started out playing Mario Bros and Duck Hunt, and at the time, like, cuz we didn't know the newer consoles like the PS3 or like the PlayStation 3 or the 360 or the Xbox, the NES and the N64 were like beautiful graphics. It was like the best things we've ever seen in our lives.
for me, the first console I played on, it would have either had to be the Wii or the PS2. Um, I played on PS2. I played a lot of Minecraft.
Yeah.
With my friend Theron.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I went over there like almost every day, and we would play some Minecraft. And then he finally got this dinosaur hunting game that I really like to play. But I don't know if that was my first one. My first one might have been our Wii. Because we played on the Wii a whole lot, and I played things like Mario Kart. That was one of the first games we got for the Wii. Um, and I was amazing at it. Of course, I'm still really great at it. But um, Mario Kart Wii was like the best Mario Kart game in my opinion because it wasn't too. It was old, but like it did the job. It was like just new enough, you know. Like even to this day,
Yeah.
it still stands in my list.
Yeah. Um. Well, we'll have to stop this for like a few seconds. I have to go for a minute, but
Yeah,
so I'll be right back.
1.1.
That's going in. I'm not cutting that out. Hey guys, we're back. We're
Hi.
back. We had to stop for a few minutes. I had to go do something, but we're back now.
Yeah.
We
I was
left
talking
off
about
with
Mario Kart Wii. That's what I
yeah,
was talking about.
yeah,
Another great game we like to play was Wii Sports, and then eventually Wii Sports Resort.
yeah.
Which were two really great games. I remember my brother was playing Wii Sports Resort one time. He was doing the lightsaber, not the lightsaber, the sword duel one.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the strap on the remote, and he
Oh no.
yeeted the remote at the TV, and
I
he broke the
remember this
TV.
story. Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, that was great. So that was I think the Wii or the PS2 were the first console that I played on.
I had a DS. That's about the newest thing that I had at the
Oh
time
yeah,
was
I
a
remember.
DS.
I actually can see my DS right now. It's over there on the table.
Yeah, it was.
It's
It
like
was.
blue. It's got like white scuff marks on the corners.
Oh, those were the greatest. Just having those scuff
The
marks make you
DSi
mad.
specifically.
I had an older version. I had like the one before that DS, so it didn't have all the cool
Yeah, that was
stuff.
just the DS.
Yeah, I just had the
Now,
DS.
now they have like the DS3 or no, they have more than DS3. I remember when they came out with DS3. I'm like, yo, that's so cool.
Yeah, the DS 3D. Yeah, that was it was cool. I wanted it, but we
hmm
didn't take that good care of the DS, so it wasn't like something we. It
Yeah,
was
and I
awesome.
just didn't have money.
Yeah,
Oh, going back to the Wii here. I bought myself as a kid. I don't know how old I was. I was like, I think I might have been 7 or 8, but I saved up a whole whack of money and I bought Skylanders Giants, which was one of the most amazing games I had played. And I bought every giant, every like the big expensive Skylanders. And then
yeah.
we bought most of the little guys. But that was such a fun game. I really loved it.
I played Skylanders like once. I think it was at a friend's place. I went over to his house and went down to a basement and started playing. I understood the very basics of what I was supposed to be doing, but
hmm
yeah, it was a cool game at the time. But I'm pretty sure he even had the ones where you could like take the bottom and the top pieces off and
Oh, Swap Force.
swap force. I played that, and it was confusing, but I liked playing it, but it was very confusing. But
hmm
I played Mario Kart Wii has to be one of the best games I played, but
hmm
I played Mario Kart 64 because I had the N64 as well. I had the NES, the
I
N64,
played
and the
that once at
GameCube.
your house, and I really hated it because it was so choppy.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, you grew up with the newer stuff, so everything looked great. Us,
You're
that's
calling the
looked
Wii new?
awesome.
I mean, it was new for the time, but like, it's not
For the
new.
time, we played stuff from like late '90s to early 2000s, and that stuff looked the
Yeah.
best to us. And that, like, even when we played it with you, we were like, oh gosh, this is not like how we
Oh
remember
my
it. But
gosh,
like,
dude! I didn't know that the Nintendo 64 was called the Nintendo. I thought it was just made in 1964,
me
and
too.
I didn't know that it was because it was 64-bit games.
Yeah, no, I thought it was in the '60s as well, but there's something on my
Yeah.
buttons. But no, I have to say though, like I have many favorite games. Some of them from the N64. I know my brother's was Banjo and Tooie. We had the second game.
Banjo and Kazooie,
No, that's the first.
Tooie.
That's the first one. Banjo Kazooie, Banjo and Tooie, Nuts and Bolts. So
What? Wait, Tooie?
yeah,
Is that actually? I thought you messed up there.
no, Kazooie was the first game. Tooie is the second and third.
As in two.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it was. I don't
And the
know,
third
but
one is still Tooie.
well, the third one died. Like Banjo and Tooie Nuts and Bolts completely like it died. It wasn't nobody liked it, and they didn't even look like the original because they tried to
Huh.
go all cool and tough looking, but it just ended up horrible, and I didn't like what they looked like. But Banjo and Tooie was
Huh.
my brother's favorite game for the N64. Mine was I don't remember exactly, but if I had to choose something, it'd probably be Mario Kart 64. I was the best at that, but I
Huh.
was I was still figuring stuff out, but I was still really good at the game. But if I had to go
Yeah.
with one of my favorite games, it had to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I I played the game so many times. I probably beat the campaign maybe
Yeah, I
like
wasn't even allowed to play Call of Duty.
yeah.
Remember, it was a couple years ago. I remember the one time you asked me, "Hey, you want to play Call of Duty?" I'm like, "What? No, I'm not allowed to." And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, I was so
And then we just
surprised.
kind of like silently, like I think it was like last year, maybe the year before. No, it was last year. That we silently just started playing. No, it wouldn't have been last year because that was it would have been 2 years ago, back in 2019.
End of
Um,
2019, we had a sleepover and
yeah, and I played a
or
little bit
all
of Call of
nighter.
Duty there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. No, I played Modern Warfare 3 a lot. I didn't like the second one as much. It was different, but the third one I probably beat the campaign maybe 10 times, and it only took me about 3 days the first time I played it to play it. That's not like impressive
Speed run
now.
3 days. Woo!
That's not impressive now, but to me at the time, that's the first campaign that I actually enjoyed playing through because I never fully made it through the other campaigns of
hmm
any of the Call of Duty games, and I was probably the best in the game because like I was the highest level in survival that out of all of my siblings, and I say that like I have so many siblings, but like I was
All of my siblings.
all of them. But I was that was my favorite game, and still is my favorite game.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't. I think my favorite game that I've played as a kid, I got Super Mario 64 um for the DS.
Oh yeah,
Um, it was kind of like the newer version
the newer
of
yeah
Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo
yeah.
64.
I remember playing
Um,
that, but it was a lot
yeah,
different than the 64 because we do have that game,
yeah.
but
It had a lot more stuff added to it. Like you
yeah
could play as Wario and Yoshi and Luigi, um, as well as Mario.
yeah.
And if you did some sort of weird thing, you could play as Waluigi, and I just couldn't do it because I found out about it a couple years ago. So I tried playing it, but then my one button on my DS is broken. It doesn't work. It's like the right button, the right button on like the top of the thing if you're holding it
Uh,
upright.
yeah.
But yeah, so I couldn't do any crouching, and I couldn't get used to the other controls. So
Yeah.
I just never got Waluigi, but I played through the whole game and could not beat the last level with Bowser.
For some reason, I played it once with you or on your DS, and I was like, "Wow, this is so different than what I'm used to." Because it was made for a newer system than what the 64 was, and
Yeah.
like 64, you had sharp edges. His nose was just like if you got anywhere close to that
Yeah.
nose, you probably would have been shanked by it. But like
Yeah.
it was so different, and you could actually make out Mario's hands in the DS, and on the 64 they were just cubes,
Yeah, they were just cubes.
and it was
Tesseracts.
yeah. At the time it was the best game I've ever seen, but
Polygonal figures, you know?
yeah,
But
but at the time it was the best thing I've ever seen. But once I
yeah.
got into the newer games, like I used to play the PS2 with my cousin a lot. We used to
hmm
play this Star Wars like game. That's the first Star Wars game that I ever played with, and at the time I don't even think I was supposed to be playing it because my dad didn't like us
Like
like
Star
like
Wars.
Star Wars. He still doesn't, but like he's okay with us watching the movies now. But like at the time he didn't like Star Wars, and I think the only thing I was allowed to do was play with the lightsabers. But
Yeah.
I remember playing that game and flying jets all over the place, and like I could control R2D2 at the time. It was amazing.
hmm
But
For our Wii, my younger brother, he got the um Lego Star Wars full set
yeah,
of the original 6 movies. Um so that we played through that and that was really fun. I remember I bought Ghost Yoda eventually and I he really hated that I always played Ghost Yoda because I couldn't die and I could just lightsaber him up and that was really funny. I
yeah,
remember on the one level, you and another person can fight each other. In
yeah.
like the story mode, you're Anakin and Obi-Wan, but
Oh,
in just creative mode or whatever it is, if you're just going through not in the story, you can
yeah.
play any characters. And so I played Ghost Yoda, and he played someone like Han Solo or something. Um, no, not Han Solo. It was one of the I think it was General Grievous because he really liked General Grievous at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but then I I beat him up with that, and he stormed away. So that was funny.
Yeah, I I played that once too. I've played a lot. I played a lot of your Wii games, and that I never played on any, any other Wii at the time, and it was because like the first Wii game I played, I think was like Mario Kart 7 on because
Oh
my
yeah.
my brother had a friend that lived down the
Wait,
street
was
from
that
us.
on the Wii
Wii
or was that
U,
Wii U?
Wii
Wii
U,
U. Yeah, I thought so.
yeah. But
I remember
my
when the Wii U
brother's
came out.
friend
I was really jealous of that.
was had the Wii U and the 360 at the time. That's how we figured out about Minecraft and well, technically figured out how about Minecraft because we used to have the free trial Minecraft like back when it was just coming out. Like
Yeah,
it was like in the early stages, and we had it on the
I
computer.
think I played like a year after it came out, like 2013 or something,
That'd be
possibly
about 2 years after.
2 years after. Okay.
Like I think it came out like sometime in 2011, but
Mhm.
I played it. I played it in about 2012 Java Edition on the computer. I think it was the free trial at the time, so we didn't have a lot of stuff that we could do. But and we only had it for about like a week or two. But
Yeah.
it was great. And then we played one of the legacy editions on the 360 at my brother's friend's house, and my brother wanted the 360 so bad, and I remember him getting it for Christmas, and he opened the present, and it was the first time I saw my brother cry tears of joy.
Hmm.
And sorry, I don't know if I'm on. Yeah, I'm on mute. Okay, no, it was the first
Yeah,
time I
you're
saw
right.
him cry tears of joy, and then he read the note that said you got to share this with the family, and he got a little upset, but like at the time he's just like whatever. I got a 360. I don't care if I have to share it,
Yeah.
and we played it so much. And I remember my parents got us a bunch of random games cuz and we also had a few other games downloaded cuz my parents got a hard drive from some friends that went to our church at the time, and it already had some pre-downloaded stuff on it, so we tried to play it. Like we tried to play the game Worms, but
Mhm.
it didn't really work. I don't know why, but it didn't really work, and we didn't understand the controls that much. And they also got us a planet or a game planet. They got us a planet. They got us a game called Lost Planet, I think it was, and it was our first shooter game, like first person shooter. And
Yeah.
my brother made it maybe like 80% through the game and then died and gave up. But then
Hmm.
we also got the 360 Legacy Edition of Minecraft. And I remember my first Minecraft world was I built it was in creative because I didn't want like survival at the time, but I built
Yeah.
this giant TNT block out of wool, and I was super proud of my build. I was super proud of what I did. And for some reason, I built a staircase on the back and put a door, and you could walk in, and the whole thing was filled with random nether portals. And like I'm pretty sure there was one point, I don't know if it still happens now because I haven't tried it in a while, but you could put nether portals anywhere you want, but anytime you make a new nether portal, it teleports you completely different than the already existing nether portals. Even though
Hmm.
they're like 2 feet away from you, they'll teleport you completely different.
Yeah.
But
I mean, one block in the overworld or whatever it is like 16 blocks in the or one block in the Nether is like 16 blocks in the overworld. I think.
I think it's backwards. I'm
And
pretty sure, but
chunks. Sorry, um, not blocks, chunks.
chunks. Yeah,
Like a chunk is like 4 blocks or something.
yeah.
4 by 4 by 4. But yeah,
Yeah, it was so weird at the time, but like, cause I would build random nether portals, and I'd come out and it'd spawn another one in my. I'd come out to another nether portal in my TNT block. So half the nether portals I didn't even build. Half of them just randomly spawned at the time. And I came out and I wanted. It's like I want to build a village to witness this beautiful build of mine. So I went onto found a random village and took out my notepad and I wrote down the build of a village house of almost every single village house and how
Hmm.
many blocks to where, and I built it out. Like I built my own exact replica of a village right outside my TNT block or TNT block, and it was I called it Bastionator was the name of it, and that file lasted for about like 3 months, and then some reason my account crashed and I couldn't play it anymore. But
Yeah, it sucks.
yeah,
So, what's the oldest gaming system you've played on?
um, I think I've played on an Atari as well.
I've played on an Atari.
Like
Um,
like I
my
played on the
uncle
old
and
one.
aunts.
Yeah,
Yeah, my aunt had it since she was a little girl. And then she grew up, and I went to the place where she lives, and she brought out. She's like, "Hey, you want to play some?" I'm like, "I guess so." So
yeah.
then we played some. What's it called?
Pong.
One with centipedes. Centipede. I
Oh,
think is what it was.
what was? Yeah, no, maybe it might have been. I think it's not. Whatever. We'll go with centipedes.
It's either centipede or millipede. Yeah, I think it's centipede because
Yeah,
millipede was another game.
yeah. No,
But oh, I also played what's that one game where it's like the dude he's like a weird he digs under the ground and then there's like creatures that come up to you and you have to like blow them up. Not like by like explosion, but like blow them up with like a pump thing.
I I don't know.
Um I think it's called Dig Dug.
Might have been. I don't know much of the older
Anyway,
games. Like I know a few of the famous ones, but like
Famer games.
famer games. But I played on like one game on Atari, and then I played on yours,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then
we also got my family got like a newer version of the Atari.
yeah, it was a one with already pre-downloaded ones
Yeah.
with Bluetooth or wireless controllers that
Yeah.
didn't really work that well.
Yeah.
I played. I think I played Pong because we were at that. I forget what it's called. Um, but it was a pre-used game store with a lot of the older games or game consoles and
Oh
games.
yeah, Pong.
And it was in Saskatoon and we were there and they had this Atari set up to this screen and my dad really wanted it but it didn't work the best so we just tried it and me and him played a round of Pong and it was a weird game but like it was easy to play because I played games like that because he used to have a bunch of flip phones. He didn't like the My dad didn't like the new screen phones,
Yeah.
so he would have a bunch of old flip phones, and one of those flip phones was one of my favorite ones because it had like its own version of Pong that you had to use the buttons to play, and it also had a bubble pop game, which is one of my dad's favorite games. But
Oh, Bubble Pop. Yo, my dad had that on one of his old phones.
yeah,
Basically, it had a phoning option, and then you could like you go and click on the thing, and then it had the bubble, and it like has all the little colored bubbles, and you have
yeah,
to use your thing and like, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that was so
My
fun.
dad, my dad used to at his office
Nostalgia, dude.
whenever he was had nothing to do at his office, he had a USB drive that he'd plug into his computer, and it had this like, it had a newer version of the bubble pop,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd sit. I'm guessing he'd just sit there for like an hour or so, or however long he had until he had to do some more work and just sit there and play a couple levels of the Bubble Pop game. And for
Yeah,
those who don't know what we're talking about, what's the new one? It's like the witch game, like
Candy
on
Crush.
no.
No. Um.
It's like the witch
Ooh.
game. You have the witch with the bubbles, and you had to free like the owls.
Oh, I don't know. Is
It's
that like a mobile game?
it's a mobile game. It's a the newer version of the Bubble Pop games.
Yeah.
But my dad loved that because it was the exact same. But the one on his original one, they had like weird. The bubbles were set up weird,
Mhm.
like, and they got harder to. And you only had a certain amount of bubbles, and in your
Mhm.
inventory, and the bubbles were set up so weird every new episode, or not new episode, sorry, new level, and it would you just
You guys had levels?
yeah.
We just popped bubbles.
No, it was the one where you had to like strategically place the line so it would, and you shot it up and it bounced off the wall, and
Place the line.
I think
Oh, you're thinking about the ones that. Oh, okay. We're thinking about completely different bubble pop games. You're thinking about the one where you like launch the ball and then you have to like
yeah.
make it hit. Yeah, okay. No, I was thinking of the one where it's like you have to find like a group of bubbles that's like four or three
Oh,
or
you're
more.
yeah, like Candy
Um,
Crush kind of.
yeah, kind of like Candy Crush, except you don't like swap them around. They
Uh
just naturally spawn in like
oh
groups of three
yeah,
or four, and then
okay.
you just have to like pop them up, and then like it'll give a random like stuff all over, and then like once you have zero options left, you win.
Yeah. I I'm talking about like the one that had like the dotted line that would, if you aimed it certain way, it would change how the
Yeah,
ball would shoot out.
that one's pretty decent too.
Yeah. Those that was one of my dad's favorite games. That's but like it has a new one. It's like a witch game. It's like you're a witch going around and you got like this pet cat, and it was weird, but my dad also really enjoyed that. And
Hmm.
but like he was old school with a lot of his stuff, and when he first played Minecraft, he's like, "This is nothing like Pong." Literally, what that's that I'm not joking. That's literally what
No
he said.
duh.
That's literally what he said when he first played it. Like, no, this is
This
nothing
is
like what I
nothing like
played.
Pong.
He's like, I used to play Pong, and this is nothing like Pong. And I'd
It's
like
not meant to be.
I wish I could be joking about this, but I'm not. That's one of the things he first said when we played that.
That's hilarious.
Uh,
Oh man.
Well, I don't know if we have much more to talk about, but
Really? Yeah, I think we've been doing this for like half an hour. Yeah, it's been half an hour.
about half an hour yet. But well, um, you want to do your
Shall we do an
outro?
outro or should we just say bye?
Well, I'm gonna go what we did last week. Like if you like the video, if you think we're cool. If you don't think we're cool, then go away. But please don't, cause
Whoa, hey!
we
Don't
need.
tell our viewers to go away. Just if you don't think we're cool, then just subscribe instead.
Yeah,
But if you do think we're cool, then subscribe and like this
and like
video.
the video.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and
if
tell anybody you know about us because we want more people experiencing our wisdom.
our beautiful Gen Z wisdom, but
I
um,
don't like being associated with the Gen Z.
me
They're
neither.
all cringe.
I I told I told my class, I was in class, I was like, "Hey Miss C, can I say something that might get people ticked off at me?" And there she's like, "Fine, but just don't make it like offensive or anything." I was like, "Oh, it's not offensive to most people." But I literally said Gen Z starts fights over the dumbest things. And it's like we could say that like ice cream isn't healthy, and they'd be like, "Oh, you guys are idiots," and blah, 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 blah. And
Well,
I'm
you
like,
see,
don't.
there's this kind of ice cream that's fully veggies. What?
Exactly.
Why are you trying to make ice cream a torture device?
I I was like, and I was like, don't get me wrong. There's fights that we're fighting that do need to be fought, but like, there's many things that kids today can just shut up about. And one of them was like, one of my classmates was like, oh, don't, no, you're not wrong. Just like Gen Z is they're freaking sensitive. And
Yeah,
I was like, they agreed with me.
snowflakes.
Yeah, but no,
That's what
many.
like
So,
people who are too sensitive about anything. I like to call them snowflakes because it's like with, and I'm gonna use like a really extreme example. Um, if you say anything that could be considered like racist, like if say I was out in public and I was describing um somebody that I had seen to like a police officer or something
yeah,
in the scenario where I would say, well, he was about like 6 foot whatever or 5 foot whatever. He was wearing this and this. He was black, and I you can say African American as well. I
yeah,
just say black because it's like just something I've said for a long time, and I don't think it is an offensive thing. If like I haven't had anybody say that it's offensive to me,
yeah.
but like I hear so many stories about like you say the word black around them and they'll be like, "Oh, that's racist." And it's such a stupid thing. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, people get so ticked off with that thing, and it
like if somebody calls me fat, sure that is offensive, but like I'm not going to go to court with it.
exactly, yeah. Like somebody calls me stupid, yeah, I'm stupid, no duh. But like, I'm not the brightest in the world. I'll admit that. Like, you can call me stupid all you want. I'm not gonna like, oh, you called me stupid. I'm gonna sue you for every penny you got. Like,
Yeah.
which would not work since nobody has pennies anymore. But still,
Yeah. I mean, hey, I have a bag of like 270 some pennies laying over there.
but yeah, no,
My
but
my room is a mess right now.
my room is too. I'll be cleaning it later. But like, I you can literally say anything. And the thing is, it was hilarious because one of my other classmates was like, "Oh, you're wrong. Let's fight about it," and just making a joke. And I think like one person thought he was being serious, but everybody else was just writing L. Everybody was writing XD or LOL or LMAO in the chat, and was but like I think there was like one or two people that thought he was actually wanting to fight, but it was everybody, for the most part, everybody agreed with me. But anyways, back
Yeah.
on topic. We're ending the video.
Yeah.
You
Should we
guys,
just erase that whole last part?
no,
No, we're keeping it in. Okay.
we're
Yeah,
keeping
we'll
it
have a
in.
40-minute video.
Yeah, remember we said last time 15 to an hour, 15 minutes to an hour. But
Yeah.
I think this might be one of the longest ones we did. But or the longest one of the longest ones. Last,
This is literally our second video.
yeah, I think this might be longer than the first video, but still. Anyways, like the video if you liked the video. And if you didn't like the video, then think about subscribing. And don't like the video. But
Let's just end it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Go away.
bye,
Bye. Love you.
bye, guys, bye.